Hello trainers, I'm Upgraded Rotom, aka Coach of the San Diego Pachirisus, and welcome to Week 6 of the LET Pokemon Draft League. This week we find ourselves against the Philadelphia Phantumps and their coach Lord Xy. Sorry if I mispronounced that, by the way. And they've got a terrifying lineup. With crazy threats such as Garchomp, Urshifu, and Armarouge, and some great support being Sinistcha and Glimmora and even Metagross, and even Charjabug to be able to set up sticky webs, my team has a pretty rough battle this week. However, I believe I've concocted a team that'll bring us to a victory. Okay, so I may have made a little bit of an oopsie. I accidentally left a YouTube video playing while I was trying to record my team builder audio, and I don't know how to fix that audio, and I kind of ran out of time to edit this video, so unfortunately there's not going to be a team builder today. I might try to throw in some pictures to give you guys an idea of what the team is. However, if not, I'm just going to head straight into the battle, and I hope you all enjoy. Alright, here we are. We have found them for the battle. Now let's see if they brought Charjabug or not, because I'm very curious on if they did. No Charjabug! Okay, but this is the 6 that I was kind of expecting anyway. Let me go ahead and tell them my Terras real quick. Terra Fairy Rotom and Terra Fairy... or not Fairy, Terra Grass Zarude. Shifu is Ground, and Armarouge is Terra Ghost. Okay. So I don't really see Muck as to be... words. Sorry, I just got off of work and I'm a little tired from the day. Anyway, Muck I don't see as being a bad lead option in this case. A lot of the Pokemon are special attackers and we can always switch out worst case scenario. And I do like that... oh, that would have been bad. I do like that Armarouge is also going to stay weak to Muck's knockoff and to also Shadow Sneak as well. If they lead Garchomp, that tells me one of two things. Either they're really predicting this very well, and they might be like Tank Chomp and try to set up spikes or whatever, or they're playing really aggressively. But we'll find out which. Let's do this. I'm glad to see no Glimmora. I was kind of annoyed, or not annoyed, I was kind of dreading, that's the word, trying to have to deal with toxic debris, but luckily we don't see that here. I will say that Terra Ground on Urshifu might be a little annoying, however Zarude should still be able to handle that pretty fine. It's just if that thing goes for a U-turn that gets rougher. Also, no Sinistcha. I'm actually really glad to see no Sinistcha. That does kind of stop our Covert Cloak from being all too great, but that's fine. Diego? Go Diego, go! Raikou! Okay. Dude, I love Raikou's model. That is so pretty. Alright, so here we go for a wonderful knockoff on the very, very, very obvious Volt Switch. And that might reveal to us if they are, I don't think they're specs. I'll check it just in case, though. But they might reveal that we are, Assault Vest. Yeah, and so out comes the Garchomp. We knock off its item, so if they are loaded dice, we find out, and if they're not... Expert Belt! Interesting, okay. So I'm gonna go for a Rotom here. Either you Earthquake or you set up spikes. And what do they end up doing? Dragon Claw. Okay, so we'll get this out of here. That did a lot more than I would have liked, but we'll get it out of here. So it does look like it's a more offensive variant. Ooh, this is not the best matchup. I could go ahead and Will-O-Wisp this, or I could just go straight into Zarude. What is Zarude taking from like a Meteor Mash? Oh, actually, it's got Hammer Arm. I might just want to go ahead and Will-O-Wisp this here. I don't think I'm outspeeding. I'm not faster than this, am I? No, I shouldn't be outspeeding this. Unless it's got... unless it's a more bulky variant, I shouldn't outspeed it. Okay, we do outspeed it. And then what's Hex doing to this after the fact? Ice Punch. Okay, we should live this still, right? Yeah. Metagross. Hex should be doing after it's burned. Hex should be doing the majority of its HP. I don't mind that. Garchomp, I think I can handle if it's not going to be... What's it called? I think I can handle Garchomp. Besides, Rotom is already way too low to really do much about it anyway. Okay, so this is more especially bulky. Ooh! I like that. I like that a lot. So what's Shadow Ball doing? Shadow's doing 42 to 50 on a bulky set, but for this set, Metagross. Bulky offense? Oh, that's at level 50. This needs to be 100. 28 to 34. That is at 25, 30. Yeah, we could possibly kill it on a max roll. Actually, no, Hex would just be better anyway. We'll go for another Hex. I didn't want to risk that roll. So what comes out next? Maybe like something like Armarouge, trying to just knock me out. I'm very glad we predicted that Earthquake, though. Or, well, we didn't predict it, but you know what I mean. Like, we were still in on it. Rotom gets a kill. I just realized that. Yay! Alright, let's see what they go for. Diego comes back. And I think I'll... This is definitely going to Volt Switch. I don't mind dropping this here just to get the momentum. So we'll make the trade. And we'll see what they go into. If they go Urshifu, I do not mind just terastallizing Zarude here. Urshifu Bandit, actually. Let me see what that does to... yeah, they do go Urshifu. Urshifu Bandit U into a U-turn with Terra Grass. Doing 80% of our health. That's actually not all too great. So if there's Scarf, that's rough. For Mew... Mew here, if they're banded, U-turn is doing about 70% of its health. Yeah, but Surging Strikes, if they're going for Surging Strikes, that shouldn't kill us either. I don't mind going for Mew and then going for Agility. It might be a weird play. Is this a weird play? They could go Clef. If they go Clef, I go into Muck. And then we should outspeed this if it's not Scarf. So maybe I should have just Bullet Seeded there in hindsight, but I am trying to outspeed that Garchomp. Oh, I definitely should have just Bullet Seeded there in hindsight, actually. Oops. Oopsies. Oopsies. U-turn? Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of a stupid choice on my end there. I should have just gone for the Bullet Seed. You're gonna go Armarouge? Is this Armarouge? It is. Okay. So to Armarouge. Or sorry, not. If you are Armarouge, we have a possible chance to KO with Rock Blast. And then we just come back in after the fact. Oh, they're going to Terra Ghost here, though. If they Terra Ghost, how much are we doing? Where's Ghost? There it is. It's doing about half of its HP, and then Muck with Shadow Sneak after the fact. would not be able to kill it. Ooh, but it would have a lot of weak armor defense drops, so we'll go for it. And no matter what, we should still outspeed this thing, even if it's Scarf. They very well could just armor cannon this. They are weak armor. Okay, so then Muck should be able to just come in and Shadow Sneak. Right? Three, 4. Can we get 5? And we get 5. Let's go. Look at me putting in that little like chip there. Okay. We get the Shadow Ball. Muck's Shadow Sneak is going to guarantee KO this thing. And then Armor Cannon isn't going to be doing too much either. I might not mind just going and knocking off. But they could very well go back into... Actually, I could just Shadow Ball. No, because they're way faster now. Yeah, I gotta go back. I gotta go into Muck. Gotta go for Muck here. And then Shadow Sneak guarantees us a kill. Anything want to come in and take that? Garchomp does, but any chip on Garchomp I don't mind. Plus we can potentially poison it. Yeah, so Shadow Sneak. Okay. We get the KO on this thing. They lost their Terra, so the good news is Urshifu is going to stay water ground? No, water fighting type. So we don't have to worry about ground moves from anything other than, I believe, Garchomp at this point. We do still have Zarude here for that. They were Expert Belts, so... Excuse me. Garchomp, let's say it's a Sword Stance variant. Yeah, it's Garchomp. Earthquake is not doing all too much, and then Fire Fang is doing a lot more. Scale Shot would not be hitting. If they go for Dragon Claw, let's see what Dragon Claw does. Dragon Claw is not getting more than half of my HP. Okay. So we should still be able to outspeed this thing. Yeah, let's go for Zarude here. I don't think this thing gets like a fighting type move other than Brick Break. And they don't get bug type moves. Earthquake, perfect. And then I don't think I mind bulking up here. So I just Terra anyway to try and stop the U-turns, and I bulk up. So at +1 against Garchomp. What are we doing? Trailblaze would be doing half of its HP. To possibly 60? 64 specifically, I mean. Earthquake's not doing much, Dragon Claw's not doing much, and we can go ahead and go for a Synthesis here. We'll see if they have Fire Fang or Sword Stance. Okay. Maybe they're banking on a crit. I'll bulk up again. And then we'll be doing 72 to 85% of their health now. Which should be enough to KO it from here, right? That's 50, 55, 60. Yeah, that should be enough. I'm going to go ahead and Synthesis just to get that HP back, and then we'll go for the Trailblaze. Ooh, okay, we'll go for one more Synthesis here. They're very adamant about keeping the Scarchomp in against us. Interesting. And then we'll go for the Trailblaze here. Rough Skin's gonna activate. We'll be back at half. Urshifu didn't take any damage, I believe so. But with our moves that we have currently, we should be able to outspeed it and still KO it from here. Their only real switch-in would be Clefable if it is unaware. If it's not, we're doing a lot to it. Actually, now that I think about that. Clefable. If you are like a Life Orb set or something. Unaware on here. Unaware, Trailblaze ain't doing too much, but at the same time, their move ain't doing much to us. I want to go ahead and Synthesis here to see what they want to do. They could trick us. Okay, they just Moonblast. Ooh, that's half of our health. Okay. That's rough. So that, I believe, is Specs. Or Life Orb. One of the two. Muck, how are you doing? Versus Fable. Actually, I could just go into Urshifu, or do I need Muck for anything? I need it for the Cliff. I need it for the Raikou. Okay, I'll go into you here. And I know Urshifu isn't Scarf because Mew outsped it. So if need be, Zarude still can play nicely into that. Perfect. And then I kind of want to just go for a Shadow Ball here, quite honestly. Because I feel like, yeah, so that tells me that's probably Specs. Yeah, out comes the Raikou. Is this going to be like an Assault Vest, maybe? No. Okay. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for that. That's rough. Okay, we can just go for another Shadow Ball, though. Raikou goes down. And then what would they switch into? Urshifu? Because if it's Urshifu, I don't mind sacking Golden Go at this point. Get some chip. Yeah. Let's go ahead and Shadow Ball here. That does a lot more than... Oh my gosh, we got 2 of those in a row? I am so sorry. Alright, so Golden Goat goes down. And then out comes Zarude. Or do I just Quack? I totally forgot I had Quack here. No, we just go Zarude. Quack ain't doing anything to the Clefable at the end. They're not banded. Yeah, we Trailblaze. And then I might just go for a knockoff to remove Clefable's Choice Spec. I want to try and do a Kelp real quick, though. Choice Specs, Moonblast. Nah. Oh, that's against Muck. Oops. Choice Specs, Moonblast. Doing 40 to 20, 40 to 50. If it's any other item, 20 to 30. We are at 170 right now. Would we be able to survive that and then Synthesis up? Yeah, we would. Okay, I'm gonna knock off into that Synthesis. If they have, they were Life Orb. Okay. So they weren't Specs. Interesting. Interesting. So what's Muck taking from this now at this point? Like, is it fine to just switch into Muck and then 20%? Muck's at what? 281. 281. 68%. Muck can take 2 of those, and then Poison Jab is not KOing from there. So we'll need you to do just a little bit more in Trailblaze. If it Moonlights, then it Moonlights, and it gets some health back, but at the end of the day, I don't mind that. Oh, maybe I just should have Trailblaze twice. Oops, okay. That would have helped our differential, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And out comes Muck. And we go for the Poison Jab. Poison Jab. Ooh, Focus Blast. I didn't see how much that would do, but our Assault Vest should let us take it. Yeah. That did a surprisingly lot less than I also thought it would. Jesus. Alright, and so that'll be the game. Thank you for the wonderful match. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.